partner, H-Dan. So we're going to have a hot show today. You think last week with my cousin Stacey Lester talking about the online dispensary was hot. We got some tea that somebody's going to spill. And the thing about it is, if you're checking in my Facebook Live, Larry H. Garner at 7 p.m. right about now, first of all, the human T-Rex on the ones and twos. And I got to send a happy birthday shout out to my youngest sister, Selena Rose, who turned 39 years old. Happy birthday, Lena! Happy birthday, Lena, and I wish you well. Happy Father's Day that's coming up. Father's Day on June 15th. To all the real dads out there, not you deadbeat ass dudes, but the real dads that are doing the damn thing, even the ones that are away, and the dads, the stepdads, the uncles, the guardians, the real men that have stepped up. Ladies, y'all had your day on Mother's Day. Don't throw shade to the dads that are doing the thing, because we are doing the thing. Trust and believe that. Rest in peace, Sly Stone, who passed away. Sly and the other leaders of Sly and the Family Stone. And then I gotta bring one of my people before I bring my guest on, and she been away for a minute. Cache Best. Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there.
You look wonderful.
Thank you, love. I appreciate you having me.
No problem. After all this time, I had to drag her out of here. Like where you?
I'm from under the rock.
All right.
You understand? Exactly. I was hiding away. I was buried. They had to summon me.
Okay. So, and before we put our guest on, I would just like to say again, happy Father's Day to all the real dads, those who are doing it and things of that nature. But
amen.
We got some problems with, before I bring my guest on, there is a certain problem right about now in the White House. And let me just explain the problem in the White House. See, the problem with the White House is that now that after Trump is going to use his birthday money to have the military march and stuff down the field, there have been riots about ICE, deporting undocumented aliens and stuff like that. But him and Elon Musk are having a brawl. They're having a brawl on X, formerly known as Twitter. They are fighting, and the thing about it is like I always say, in this case, listen, I'm gonna be honest, let this white on white crime happen. It has nothing to do with us. Let us watch these monsters eat each other. I am for it. Hell, why don't we just do a pay-per-view? I'm sure we can sell this in UFC. Dana White, you set it up since you love both of them. So, we can do a WWE thing. We just add Money in the Bank. It'll be two old geezers at Caesars. So let it happen. Let it happen. And you can do it one of Trump Towers. Let him have the home field advantage. He think he got the home field advantage. But the thing about it is let that. By the way, President Trump is thinking about not having Veterans Day, eliminating it altogether, and just have World War I Day. Because he says we have too many days off as a country. Okay, yeah. I think his brain cells have too many days off. But we're going to talk about East Cleveland. That's what we're here for. And T-Rex, I need for you to bring on my guest with the music that I set up today. Because it's going to be epic. She's going to tell it all.
Amen.
The thing about it is that some of these EC council people in the mayor have been caught out there. That's why I'm playing Khalees. And they've been caught out there right about now. So please welcome my guest today, the one, the only Juanita Gowdy in the building. Fire. How you doing, Juanita? Okay, so we know that Mayor Brandon King and former councilperson Ernest Smith got convicted, not sentenced, but they got convicted of robbery and fraud, especially Mayor King. So what's really going on in East Cleveland? Because you are a councilman when
I started off as a councilwoman, and then I moved up to vice president, and then I ended up being the president of council. And in that battle of moving up, we was fighting corruption. I had newspapers and to share with with our viewers, and we shared it with our community and our citizens, and all that. It was a battle on the inside of City Hall. The battle was not, the people felt it, because we as the council people was always divided. Brandon King had his 2 against us 3. So if something needed to be passed, it couldn't be passed because it take 4 to overvote the veto if it was a veto. So
majority rules.
Yes, majority rules. So he was playing games, and that's how the council got split. But far as East Cleveland battle today, Brandon King did get sentenced, and he found guilty, him and Ernest Smith, because he was doing things that wasn't mayor material, period. He took money and he invests money to his family, and he was giving out credit cards to his to Ernest Smith, and he even gave him a car, to drive around in the city. So me and Eric Brewer got together, and we began to write letters, because I had brought it to his attention and saying that, Ernest Smith have not turned in the car, and the council people had voted for him to bring the car back, and he would not bring the car back because it's a gift from Brandon King. He's telling us to stay out of his business and stuff like that.
You mean Ernest Smith?
Yeah, Ernest Smith. And other things stacked up, it's more than just 12 indictments.
There's more than just 12 charges against him.
It's more.
It's more.
It's more against all of them. But they just use what they wanted to use at the time.
So, and Eric Brewer, as we know, was the former mayor of East Cleveland.
Yes.
Removed for whatever the reason.
Well, he was actually, when I became the council president, and a lot of people didn't understand why I made this move. I had to get somebody very intelligent. I had to get somebody that knew what to do, how to do it, and how to move with it without making mistakes. So a lot of times I made him my clerk of council, So I had to get somebody that already been in that seat. So if anything happened, I would know if this a correct thing to do or if it wasn't. So he was he wasn't no advisor, but he was just assistant clerk. The clerk of council that knew the charter very well, and he knew the ordinance very well. So that's what they broke. The city of Cleveland actually broke our charter.
Really?
They violated.
Wow.
How did the city of Cleveland violate East Cleveland's charter?
Because the council president usually be the next mayor. And we ain't never had no interim mayor ever.
Okay.
So when the state stepped in and took over, they appointed, they made it look like, hey, anybody can be the mayor of East Cleveland. Come on down and fill out this application. But they already knew who they wanted anyway, because she was an overseer of East Cleveland anyway. And the interim mayor, Morgan.
Morgan.
Sandra Morgan.
You mean Dr. Sandra Morgan?
Yeah, she was already placed. Placed by the Judge Russo.
By Judge Russo, after O'Malley, the county prosecutor, put charges against Mayor King and former Councilman Ernest Smith. But the thing about it is, are these charges that you're saying that these charges that were brought on them were accurate, correct?
Yes.
And there's more.
And it's way more. Brandon King also did something that, should have been it should have been open to the public too. So he took $2 million for Metro Park without coming before the council. And they didn't even sign a contract. And so me and Eric Brewer decided that they need to bring the money back and do it the right way. And they decided not to bring the money back because they said it came from Brandon King. So, you know, we have people that talks in office, you know, thank God for them. You know, they didn't say, you know, we ain't gonna use names, but we get some source. So they told us what's going down. So I'm like, hey, not on my watch.
Hey.
Not on my
Amen.
watch. You're gonna bring that money back
To the
here.
city.
Yeah, to the city. You know, $2 million ain't no play money, and even if it was $1, you still shouldn't be taken without coming before council. So they got mad and they backed off. Yeah, back off because the rules that y'all had on that contract didn't fit our script anyway, because at a certain time you want the deeds and all this stuff, and then you want people out the park in case of somebody having a birthday party and it goes a little over. You're gonna, you know, it's just, you know, it would have been chaos. You know, because if I'm not ready to leave my park at this certain time, then they got to put you out. You know, and so sometimes you're gonna end up what, going to jail, getting a ticket, and all this other stuff. So that was not a smart move at all, and they did not come in front of council and told us this day that they took the money.
So it wasn't a vote of the people,
Right.
or of the policy and the chain of command.
Right, it wasn't of the chain of command.
So, how many wards are in East Cleveland?
It's actually 3 wards, and we got two large. Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3, and Ward 4.
Okay. So, pretty much, there's not a lot of people on East Cleveland City Council.
It's only 5 people.
How did this come to pass with all this BS that's happening? Because I talk about East Cleveland corruption from Mayor Anwar. You know, I think Brewer was the last honest mayor that y'all
Yes,
had.
he was, and I would use him all the time. I mean, he is brilliant.
I mean, you had the problem with Smith. You had the problem now with King. And the thing about it is that you have these particular problem. Like, first of all, does King even live in East Cleveland?
No, he don't. I mean, he really don't. He don't actually live in East Cleveland, but he used an address, and he was married to his wife, and his wife actually said that they only used the house that he registered with is for business. So she stayed on Euclid.
What?
Arms dropped.
Well, wait a minute. Won't you, like, okay.
You're benefiting off the taxpayers, but you're not actually there. But you're
Right.
using the loophole, a gray area, to bend the rules. Okay.
Yeah, so
That's what we do.
here's the thing.
That's an honest politician.
Right.
All right, here's the thing. You have, in order for you to run for the position for the city, you must
Live in the city. Of
live in the
East
city. In East Cleveland.
Residency.
Your
Yeah.
residency has to be in East Cleveland.
Cleveland. Right.
Well, so
Common dwelling
How did he-
address.
how many terms that King served as mayor before he was ultimately removed by the Cowley County prosecutor?
8.
8 terms. So that's, and how many terms is that?
That's 4 years.
So pretty much, like, he's been mayor of East Cleveland forever, right?
And he was a council. And then he didn't even do that right, because Calvin Irby and Devin Branch, they supposed to be at the seat of council at the time when he became mayor. But what happened was they put Ernest Smith in his place, and another council person in his place, so King can have some clout. You know, he have his little team. It was like a game.
It's musical cabinet.
yes.
We're gonna play the song, and whoever pop in that office today, that's
Yeah,
where we
Right.
and so they knew who they already planted there to it's like we was divided. Council was always divided.
What you got to say for the people who saying like
Right.
that you might be wrong, Juanita, and then like that they was doing it the right way? What do you got to say for that?
Well, you can't do it right way if you get indicted.
If you go to jail.
if you're going to jail,
If
you
you're
got charges on you, how you going to do the right
Hey,
thing?
you're
are
convicted.
They are going to
Your
what is it called?
sentence appeal.
Appeal.
You
Yeah,
can,
anybody
but you
can
can
appeal.
run, but you can't hide. The evidence had came across, and like I said, he had a chance to clear up the mess, but we gave them chances and chances to do what's right. And what happened was, Brandon King had East Cleveland, the city of East Cleveland, working in his business. And at his business, at his location, and you cannot mix the two.
Commingling.
Your business is your business, and you shouldn't have East Cleveland, and that's double dipping
Double
with the
dipping.
money. So he getting paid for those people
And he's
actually being
getting
in his.
kickbacks.
Do you double dip your chips, Juanita?
You bite once and eat the whole thing.
But let Juanita finish, because it's. I mean, the thing about it is like, Cache, you know, T-Rex, you know, and I made taking shots at East Cleveland for a while, ever since I've been on air. But you know, especially about the potholes. But the problem that we run into is that the potholes are really, really real. So why wasn't the money used to fix y'all damn streets?
Greed.
Well, like we said, when you have a slumlord, you can have mayors, you know, and they supposed to take care of the people. They supposed to take care of the streets. And when you, and I'm not just saying this to be blunt or something like that, to be smart, but our residents need to open their eyes up too. You know, because they keep putting the same person in and getting the same results. And the reason why a lot of people get put in because of bribe, you know, he promised to fix their house up, you know, the money that we had, you know, that came, the ARCA fund money that came into the city of East Cleveland, the mayor took it like it was his personal money and everything, and he started doing things with that he shouldn't even have.
You mean the federal government money?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
embezzlement.
Yeah, so he was taking money and giving it to business people and stuff like that, and
Of his
you know,
favor.
right? And you know, and you win votes like that. You know, people gonna remember.
Please watch
you know,
my back. I watch.
yeah, and that's what it is. You know, and just like the intern mayor Sandra Morgan, she got in, but it's how she got in, and it wasn't fair for the people. You know, the people didn't get a chance. We went for one thing only, and let me make this clear: we did not ask for no intern mayor. What we asked for is corruption to be stopped in the city of East Cleveland by the mayor and by Ernest Smith. We did not ask them to do nothing else. They took it upon themselves and did this on their own free will without the residents' permission
Of the city of.
and of the city of East Cleveland permission. And they broke and violated our charter because,
And rights.
yes, it rights.
So a question
Due
of
process.
well, Ernest Smith, usually I've interviewed him before. He always comes off as he's for the people, oppressed people's nation. OPN has a lot of people that are supporting him. He said he's calling it politics, like they have found like all this other stuff like that. What is your rebuttal to his statement about politics and things?
Well,
like
he used that to try to be smart, and it's a deception. So he don't really want them to really know that he had actually did the crime. So we use words to sugarcoat it for ourselves to make us feel like if I say it's politics, then the people gonna understand, you know. Well, don't believe them because that's nothing but politics. But it's not. It's evidence and it's facts. In fact, we went over to his house to get the truck that Brandon King actually gave Ernest Smith. And we asked council people, we was telling him, begging him before it even got this far to turn in the truck. He tore up the car, you know, because the clerk had gave him the keys to the car, and he never brought it back. And it seemed like, to me, and I'm just finding out, he never had a car anyway. So that's more like leverage. And
Off the taxpayers in
Yeah.
the city.
and he spent a lot of money, credit cards. Brandon
What do they
King
call
gave
that?
him
Petty cash for the company?
no. He actually spent over $700 of gas.
Well,
Was he
where he
supposed to
wanted-
do that?
No.
Okay.
Was it
Yeah.
during? Did he have a log of where he was going?
He's supposed to follow the law, and we supposed to have a log in mileage and all that.
So that's a
the council
policy
people ain't never rode in the car because he took the car. He took it for his personal use, driving his family around, everything, you know. So,
My question is that the job description he's supposed to be doing?
well, when I had to testify.
Is
against-
that his job description?
no?
Well, then that's the case in
Nobody can
close.
take the car home but the mayor, the fire chief, and the police chief. Other than that, and we would have probably worked with him, but he wasn't working with us. He said Brandon King,
Gifted it to him.
gave him the truck, and
was
he
a
don't have
gift.
to bring the car back because it's personal
It's
and
a
stay
gift.
out of his business.
And that was a city. That was a city car. That was
Yes,
for the city
yes,
of East Cleveland.
yes.
Just like anything with the city, you can't use that for personal use. That's how, unfortunately, the city of Cleveland safety director Kerry Howard.
And you can't you cannot
Is he
use
still employed?
no.
Oh,
He's
then
on his
how,
way to jail.
how do he have?
Well, they
city
voted him
property?
out.
How does the city and these officials allow him to have city and government property that's attached to the job description?
Well, the council people didn't have nothing to do with that, and that's why every time.
So who is overseeing that project?
well,
The mayor,
Brandon, the
unfortunately.
mayor, the mayor did that.
If
He gave it to him.
If the mayor is corrupt, then and if you roll with
So
the
who
mayor,
governs the mayor?
well, obviously
we do.
the
Who's
resident.
higher than you though? Who's his director?
Well, the council had told the mayor to stop letting Ernest Smith to use the car.
No, what I'm asking, because people need to know this, it's a chain of command. Mm-hmm. So we're at the mayor.
Well, the mayor
Who's
is a
above
different.
that?
The mayor is a
to
different branch of
Charter
government.
and control
Yeah,
them.
The mayor is a different branch of government. Council is a government by itself.
Everybody's his own individual sector.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Unfortunately, and when you have the American Rescue Plan money that was given to each particular city during the Biden administration that's getting spent up, because there were reports, and plus what about the police officers that were sentenced pretty much, Pac-Man, McDonald, other people like that, because not everybody is saying that East Cleveland has been corrupt and rotten all the way around from the police department to the mayor's office. What is your combatants of that? How can EC get better?
Well, you have to do a background check on everybody. And in that background check, you have to make sure that, when you see a red flag of why is you coming here to work and what's going on, that you done lost this job and why wasn't nobody hiring you. I don't mind giving anybody a chance, but when you have a record and when we see that people is actually getting killed, beat up by you, and all this trafficking that you doing, and speeding behind people and pulling them over, and I mean, the mayor is over that. We couldn't put them in office. The mayor runs the city, and he pick and choose who he want in office. And all we have to do is complain. And Heather was not doing her job. Heather supposed to be the prosecutor. accused.
Heather McCullough, the prosecutor for
East
the
Cleveland.
city of East Cleveland.
But she wasn't doing her job. What she was doing, covering up. She never once brought it to nobody's attention that they were breaking the law.
So, okay, we're acknowledgeable about everybody is a part of the good old boy game, and they start covering up for each other because they're all working together.
They all working together.
What is the next level? What is the next step for you, or as a citizen, or as someone who is going through an experience to get help, and who do they contact above them? Because it's somebody higher that they have to answer to. So that's where we need to expose that to the community so more people can know where to go outside of just saying, okay, the mayor is corrupt, okay, the police department is corrupt, okay, we put them in these positions, so it has to be something that the people can do to change that situation.
Okay, so one thing that I found out that works in since a councilwoman, I put out letters. So we have an oversight that's oversee the city, and we complain to them. When they don't do what they're supposed to do, we got to go over their head. And then we have to take it downtown and start pressing charges on them, you know? Because it's enough.
See, that's the solution. That's what we need more people to get out here and say. We need to come unified as a whole and form a suit against these people who are not acting in their official capacity.
Right.
Because they have policy and guidelines that they have to abide by.
We have an ordinance, yes.
Right. So, and I'm grateful for you being, and you are a former councilwoman, correct?
Yes.
And other council people stood up against what's been going on, correct?
Yes. And it's like the war is on the inside of City Hall where people can't see it. But the residue is on the outside because you're going to feel it. You know, you're going to feel the tension.
Right.
When you come into City Hall, you're going to feel something going on up in here. You know what I mean?
The energy.
Yeah, the energy. And that's where people get confused, like, what's going on? You know, I can feel this, you know.
Right.
Well, because they not following the law. They
But
not
they
following
want
the
us
charter.
to follow the law and the charter.
Right.
Like, what hypocrisy is
The
it?
charter is law, you know, and they violated our rights by taking matters into their own hands.
Right.
This is only supposed to be
With consent.
about Brandon King and Ernest Smith, if they guilty or not guilty of the crime. This should not have to been this far, period, about an intern mayor. That was not even in the picture. We didn't ask for that.
Well, this is getting more messier than the Diddy trial. But I'll just say,
No Diddy.
no Diddy, no King, no Smith. Unfortunately for them, I don't know how. Like, I need to pull up to see if they have been sentenced and how long they're going to be serving.
Well, he had a hearing come up for sentences on the 9th. So you could pull it up and see because
Right.
Public record,
Public
folks.
record.
Yes.
So, all right.
We
So
have public record.
all right, so we're going to take a short intermission right about now. When we come back, we're going to ask about the confusion between the interim mayors, between Morgan and Shabazz. When we come right back on the Headline Eye on WNL.
Can I interject real quick?
Go ahead, Cass.
I know you got beef with the mayor, but I want to say I commend her. I took a picture with her because you know why? East Cleveland has gotten rid of them fake camera photo traffic citations.
Yes.
Don't send your money into Arizona. It's out of that jurisdiction. First off, it was illegal.
Yeah.
They didn't have a police officer there. They didn't have a light blinking showing you every second that the camera was working. So it should have never been in effect.
Right.
It's removed. So anybody traveling through EC, there are no photo traffic citations. Commend her for that. She's removed it.
Yeah.
What about in Cuyahoga County? What
It's
like
period.
in Newburgh?
Newburgh, I've beat several cases.
Okay, cool.
Newburgh, Parma,
Cool.
anywhere there's telling you, first off,
There's a traffic camera.
let me tell you the rules in Ohio.
Break it down,
And
miss.
you can research this on
The
photo
revised
citation traffic cameras. It's in the ORC, Ohio Revised Code.
Yes.
They have to have notification that they're doing a speed zone trap. They have to have a officer present 24 hours. It doesn't matter when they're doing it. If they're saying they're issuing you a citation, it has to be a verifiable witness that can speak under oath. There is never a police officer present. And it also states in the code, it has to have a blinking light, blue, yellow, orange, or whatever the indication is, showing that this camera is operating every second. It blinks every second. So if any of those codes are not followed,
Right.
it's illegal. And it's a violation. And you guys are giving your money away and you're being extorted. I'm just telling you.
And that's the truth, and that's what the problem we had in East Cleveland.
So stop giving your money away. Spend it on your children.
All right. East Cleveland, unfortunately, the mayors are hanging on a string, and this is the club we're playing right about now.
But I'm happy she did that. I'm just going to say that she removed it from the books.
All right.
Finally.
We tying up loose ends here on the airline. I hang on the string. We'll be right back.
Amen.
This is WNRV 108.1.
So long for you to come to me. What did I do wrong? It's all a mystery to me. Baby, I feel it too. What am I supposed to do? Maybe I just changed. Could I be wrong for you? You got me hanging on the string now. I'm not a plaything. You got me hanging on the string now. Am I your plaything? You know they told me you were waiting, contemplating with my heart and my love. You never told me you were waiting, contemplating with my heart. Do you mean to say that after all this time I waited like a fool? Now who's been changing you? You got me hanging on the string now. I'm not your plaything. You got me hanging on the string now. I ain't no plaything. You got me hanging on the string now. I'm masquerading. You got me hanging on the string now. I ain't your plaything. You never told me you were waiting, contemplating. You never told me you were waiting, contemplating. Come on, John, take me by my
This is WNRV 108.1.
Looking for the perfect workspace? Office Lawson Solon has you covered. Whether you need a private office, co-working membership, or a virtual business address. We've got flexible options to fit your needs. Check out our 2 spring promos. Enjoy free co-working Fridays and no deposit on private office rentals. We also offer month-to-month leasing for your ultimate flexibility. Visit office-loss.com or call 216-230-9258 to lock in your space now. Office Loss, where productivity meets flexibility.
See you soon.
Hey y'all, this is Catherine Danielle, and I'm checking in with Headline Eye on WNRV 108.1.
Watch a while, you see he never smiled. Broken home, father gone, mama tired, so is all alone. Kinda sad, child, thinking he's been had. In the back of his mind, he said, didn't have to be here.
All right, we're back on the Headline Eyes.
Why couldn't they just let me be?
Before I get back into it, I got 2 things. First of all, because of the ICE raids in California, they are protesting the ICE raids and throwing stuff at the ICE officers. The protesters are throwing those. Good luck with that. And also, in sports news, we have 2 moves in football. First of all, Aaron Rodgers is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 1-year contract, and sadly, the Browns are losing Nick Chubb to the Houston Texans. Rest in peace to your career here in Cleveland. Nick, I love you, man. We'll wear your jersey in effigy. Damn, Houston gets everything. We still got this. No, still got Watson. No shot, no shade. Shout out to Shador Sanders. Juanita, question. Why are you no longer councilwoman in East Cleveland?
It was a campaign smear. I wrote a play called Love or Lust, and as I was doing my play, they was campaign smearing my name. So
because of a play?
No, that's what they do. I didn't really campaign out here to be the council person. I didn't do a lot of work like I usually would do because I had a play going on.
Is Corinne Stevenson still part of the city council?
No, she's not either.
Okay. Is there any women on city council right now?
Yes. Pat.
Okay.
Pat. Patricia, Boviak, and I should say her name clearly like that, but and it's also Terry Richardson.
Okay.
It's one of the council ladies.
Okay, so
that's been in office.
So who's on council now? Do you know?
Twan Billing.
Mm-hmm.
Twan and Shabazz. Lateef Shabazz. Richardson, Terry Richardson, and Timothy Austin, and Patricia Boviak.
Boviak, who is she African American or no?
No, she's not.
Okay. So, and still the beat goes on. There's a problem with Morgan and Shabazz. Apparently, Lateef Shabazz said that he was sworn in to be mayor as interim mayor before the Cuyahoga County prosecutor and the judge appointed Diane Morgan. The state of Ohio pretty much came in and said Sandra Morgan mayor. How do you feel about the confusion that's going on right now with the residents?
Okay, so because Sandra Morgan been in East Cleveland for a long time, and she even oversight the city. So she seen the city going down. So when we found out that Brandon King was being indicted, she did something to get in there. So it wasn't a charter. The East Cleveland charter is home rules, and it become law. That's more like, the charter is more like a Bible for the city.
Okay.
So you can't break the law. So
You can't change the
and you can't
rules.
change it because it got put in place by the residents, and you have to vote for everything. So it become law once you break the law. So I think how she got in there was some backdoor stuff, because ain't no way in the world we as the resident voted for interim mayor to come in.
Okay.
And she got appointed by Russo, which is
Judge Russo?
Yes.
He's the same
So-
judge that's in that was in that King trial.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like they're doing a communist, like we're going to appoint who we want to appoint without the vote of the people.
Of the people. So yeah, and that violated our charter, because they know even if you don't like Lateef Shabazz, even if you don't like him, we have to respect our charter.
Right.
He should be the next mayor,
Right.
as quiet as kept. But so many people are so disappointed of who they've been putting in office for a long time. They kept putting the same people in office, getting the same results, and now you mad because a man supposed to take their seat and you want a woman in there. How can you get mad over what you have done? I know a lot of people did not vote for King, but the ones that did, they know why they voted for him.
I just want to interject because most political parties feel they can manipulate the women. They got to answer to somebody. This is a man's world at the end of the day. Most countries don't even respect women being in those type of seats. You understand? They feel like okay, yeah, you have a woman there, but it's somebody behind the voice, behind the scene.
And it's always a man behind that scene, and like I said, Russo, he broke our charter. He's not going to admit it. He knew that.
Well, judges are never wrong in these circumstances.
He's not going to never admit it. He's never going to admit it to nobody. It's like sweeping it up under the carpet, like they've been doing a lot of other stuff, sweeping stuff up under the carpet and thinking that it's not going to show. The stain going to come up sooner or later, if you want to see it or not. It's up to you to see the stain or walk over it and act like you don't see it. And that's what they've been doing with the county. The county been.
So it's up to the people to start taking a stand.
And it's up to them to
bringing
take-
these people accountable to
Yes.
what they're supposed to be doing.
And they should be held accountable, and that's where we at today. Sandra Morgan got in because she got appointed by a judge, and the trick was, who wanted to become mayor? So everybody thrown in their towel. Okay, I want to become mayor. Coming out the woodwork. It could be anybody, to want to become mayor.
Kinda like a hot potato.
But they didn't earn the seat. They just walk into the seat. They ain't did nothing to earn that seat.
Wow.
Nothing.
Here's my problem.
And the victims of it is the citizens of East Cleveland.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to play devil's advocate right about now, and I don't want to do this. But Juanita, you probably, because you are the former councilwoman of East Cleveland, isn't it partially the residents' fault for who they voted for? I mean, because if you like more than one term, we have a mayoral election right now in the city of Cleveland. And people like Bibb, people like somebody like somebody else. By the way, Bibb has got all his signatures to run for Cleveland, and and the wards have been restructured. But back to East Cleveland, don't the residents have a say and do, unless King was just being a gangster and just making everybody vote for him?
Well, King knew how to twist words around, just like he was in the denial of the judge saying that King, for instance, something happened and, you know, you could say that this wall is red. Mm-hmm. He could say it's blue all day long. So he have a way to twist the minds of the people, thinking that it is a certain way when it's really not.
It sounds like a lawyer and a judge.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying, you know, he got a way to twist words and twist the people believing a lie before they believe the truth. Mm-hmm. So he have a way to doing that. So that's what's going on. He know how to get to the mind of the people because he watch how they move. So he studies them. Mm-hmm. He playing chess and they playing checkers.
Amen. I mean, the thing about it is, like, either chess or checkers. If you drive on Terrace Road, your car might die on Terrace Road because of all the potholes.
At the time, they don't think like that. At the time, a smooth talker, and the Bible speaks of smooth talkers, they can talk a good game, you know, and he's been playing the game, and they've been falling for it. And
I think it is, people don't know the steps to take to get something changed.
They know the steps to take.
No, I don't think everybody knows.
Right, because when he's supposed to be recalled, they did not recall him.
Exactly. They don't know, like, oh, it takes XYZ to get this person removed, or if we have a problem with what agency do we report to and have enough people report to so we can get a change. Now, mind you, you go in Lakewood, they ain't having it. You go in Shaker, they ain't having it. You go in Lyndhurst or Beechwood or something like that, they're not having it. They're not even going to try to pull that. They pull that on people who are not knowledgeable about the policies and the rights.
Here's the problem that I have with that. Eventually, a change. What's the song cat?
Where is full disclosure?
Like, a change gonna come, and it has to come.
Where is full disclosure?
Yeah.
We don't get the same teaching. The kids don't get the same teaching that the Catholic school
teachers. But you can
teachers
take them
give.
to the water, but you can't make them drink it.
School versus Catholic.
Because you can expose a lot of people, and you know what they say. That's a lie. I'm exposing it. I'm showing you. I made sure that you know what you know. And I'm educating you on the fact that this is really, 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 really is happening. And you still saying it didn't happen.
Because you know why? It's easier to approve a lie than the truth.
Right.
Because the truth, you might not know, this might entangle your whole belief, and it destroys my belief behind what you're exposing.
Like, the thing about it is, the facts are facts. The thing about it is, I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna and no disrespect to any resident in East Cleveland. And the thing about it is, like,
there's no disrespect at all.
But the thing about it is, like, y'all had a horrible police officer. Y'all had horrible police officers. Y'all had a horrible ass mayor. And the thing about it is, what disappoints me about Ernest Smith is that when he came in here, when he was elected one of the council people at East Cleveland, that he said he was going to change the culture of people thinking about East Cleveland as a horrible person. But unfortunately, and the thing about it is, and like, I do want to bring him on one day, you know, but the thing about it is, facts are facts. You know, you had lightweight federal governments and entities investigate what you have done, and people testify against you that you were corrupt. And you led OPN, the Oppressed People's Nations,
to be oppressed,
to oppress the people that you were supposed to fight. Now, when he first was out here walking the streets, telling the hookers to get off Euclid and out of EC and
the Hollow, and they're still there.
Right.
and he had a bar with a bunch of them in there. You know how?
Listen, first off, we got to clean up how the community looks and bring some businesses back so they don't even have an area where they can occupy.
Right. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that, you know, hearing about what happened with him when he was taken downtown the first time for trafficking women from whatever. And Eric Brewer brought that up.
Strippers.
So, what's that about? Did you? Oh, and the thing about it is, like, when you heard about what happened the first time with Ernest Smith, as far as what was your thoughts about the stripper thing?
I went on the news.
He a pervert man.
I went on the news, and he told me if he did anything wrong, to let him know. And so when I heard about it, I went on the news, and I said, Ernest Smith, I'm here because you told me if I see anything you did wrong, to expose it. I did. I exposed it. And he still is in denial.
Denial and proof is two different
Yes.
things. But you know what?
And then he told us,
I'm going to just say this freely, and this is my opinion only. People turn a blind eye because they don't want to rattle the boat on how much stuff they've been covering up over the years.
Yes.
So you got to understand this. If I have a part where I could be implicated or I can get dragged into some type of investigation, why would I want to whistleblow with you and prove your facts right for the helpless? Who are they? They're helpless. They don't have no money to fight.
I feel like this at this particular point in time, as far as with this going on, there are some great residents in the East Cleveland area, and for years they have been ramroded by
the surroundings.
A deception.
But eventually either the residents of East Cleveland have to fight back.
You couldn't drive through.
Or they have to move out of East Cleveland. How many residents need to have you lost because of all this corruption?
It's a lot moving, and they still moving, and they still packing because of the crime. A lot of people get sick of East Cleveland, and I'm telling you, don't get sick of it. Roll your sleeves up and help
and protect it for yourself.
Because if we don't, East Cleveland is already down. The only thing we can do is come up.
But I'm gonna say this. How you gonna feel secure and everybody's going to jail that was in official capacity to protect you?
Well, you
got the mayor gone, you got a chief of police gone, you got police officers gone, and you were depending and you were making calls to these people to help you in a situation that was of distress or duress. You got to understand.
But
people are losing faith in the system, and we need to involve the people more because we govern ourselves and our own communities. Nobody's going to protect us better than us.
And that's the truth. And I'm with that 100%. But, the people have to wake up. I always say, wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. You sleeping in the bed with the enemy that deceiving you, taking you down, taking everything down, taking things from you, promising you stuff that they say that they're going to do and never do it. And that's and then trying to play it off to make it look like we doing something, and we really not doing nothing. We fighting a good fight on the inside that you don't really see.
All right, so
move this man.
Right, thank you. So
I like that one.
As far as Brandon King, boo him.
He
needs
on
to be
point,
booed.
man.
But here's the thing: I'm going to ask this question. This is a hard hitting one, and I've probably been throwing them at you, so you already know what it is. What about the state taking over East Cleveland and just breaking it up? What do you think about the possibility of that actually happening? There's no mayor for East Cleveland, and putting Miss Morgan in as far as being an East Cleveland mayor is to break up parts of East Cleveland to be sold by the state to other entities and break them up.
And it sounds like it's a sellout, but election time is coming this year, so it's a lot of people is ready to run for that seat. And
can they even do that?
Yeah.
Are they residents of East Cleveland, first of all?
Yes.
Okay.
Even me, my house is getting remodeled. Somebody just went and ransacked through a house that's supposed to be a business. Like I said, it's a lot of corruption in the Cuyahoga County, but I ain't even gonna get into that right now. But we is talking about East Cleveland. I'll talk about that another day. But yes, I have to remodel my house. I be there during the day, but I can't even be there at night because somebody done ransacked it and
It might be
everything,
dangerous.
and
You gotta protect
tore
your
up
life
my
with it.
house. And you know, that's nothing but a campaign smear that's trying to come. But the Lord blessed me to get my house together, to move in to my house the right way, you know, and I don't have to worry about all this. So, you know, it was a judge done did me wrong. She knows she did, but one day, you know, you'll hear about it. But I can't talk about it right now. So right now, it's about East Cleveland getting it back on track. And I'm the type of person that see the city, I see a vision for our city. I'm giving hope back because dry bones do live.
Amen.
You know, and I believe that when we put our heads together, ain't no stopping us now because we on the move. So on the move, being with the right people that's going to help each Cleveland. We help each other to pull each other up, you know, and to bring in businesses because it's a desert right now. East Cleveland don't have no grocery stores. East Cleveland don't have no banks. East Cleveland don't have a decent restaurant.
Medical.
Right, and we don't even have
a hospital.
right, and it's like a desert. But I still have hope
And believe.
and believe and faith in God that He's going to bring East
Amen.
Cleveland back the right way.
All right, so are you running for mayor now, Miss Gowdy?
Yes, I'm putting in my.
Okay, say that. Put it out there. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but since you know.
I was gonna ask anyway.
Yeah,
You
but
said
I'm
running mayor.
definitely, yeah, because I came in second place. They took my truck, my campaign truck last time. They chased us out of, oh my God. It was like, we was like,
I didn't know how you
know what,
missed
I
Gowdy.
like plays. I like
Yeah,
plays.
you got cars, let her a truck.
What's going on? What's going on with you, Miss Gowdy? Why they be
The mayor, when you standing up for righteousness, the devil hates you.
Okay, well, let's say that we are a conqueror and we divide all
Yes.
evil. We over
Yes.
Yes, you
Hate you about a cause, you know.
Amen.
I'm trying to help the city and try to get in there. They took my campaign truck, you know, that and they locked the doggone thing
You
up.
don't take the truck though.
Yes, and we had permit.
I mean, there a bunch of car thieves on this payroll.
Yes.
Look, we gonna get you back in your truck so you can campaign all through this season.
Yes,
Yo,
yes.
yo.
We gonna hashtag Miss Gowdy campaign track for East Cleveland, so for mayorship, you know, we gotta help Miss Gowdy because we the people love Miss Gowdy. Miss Gowdy has a good heart.
Hold on, T-Rex, you hearing this? They stealing the truck?
Stole the truck.
We talk
locked
all the
truck
time.
up.
She tell me everything.
Man, that's crazy. This like,
Miss Gowdy, I've been there through some ups and downs with her. She been fighting a good fight. I'm telling you, if you want somebody that's gonna go to the back for y'all city, she gonna fight for you.
Yeah, because
She
I
gonna
came in
fight for
second
you.
place, y'all. Thank you. And
Right.
you
She's
know,
gonna fight for
we
you.
do have
Listen,
good
these
residents in
people
Cleveland, but
have been stealing from East Cleveland forever.
They're
Look at
tired.
y'all streets. Every time I go, every week I get a new flat tire. East Cleveland owe me like a tire every week for the past 5 years.
Right,
I'm
right.
saying,
But
your whole car might fall in one side of the street. It's cave-ins. Like, we got to get this together. And East Cleveland used to be the suburbs like it was in Bracknell. It was a beautiful place. I remember
right,
that.
Right back in when if you see East Cleveland,
You couldn't drive
back,
through East Cleveland like Parma.
Right.
Like, for real. You if you was of our descent of Hugh, you could not go through there after a certain time.
Yes.
All right, so Juanita, how much gentrification has East Cleveland suffered throughout these
A
past
lot,
couple
a
of
lot.
years?
You see them $100,000 houses over there by the Lakeview
Yeah.
Cemetery?
Yes, but they
Them like $200,000-$300,000
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah.
Who can afford that
Right,
in East
but
Cleveland
you
when
know
it's?
what? You know what? East Cleveland
I'm shut up.
East Cleveland is a jewel, you know.
It is.
And a lot of people be trying to push us out.
They trying to
But they
destroy
can't-
y'all land.
They cannot. You know
This
why?
is y'all land. I'm from Potomac and Shaw, so I'm most EC till I die. So I don't care what nobody say. My family and blood is red on there. And I'm just gonna say this. I was there when they called the hot sauce
Where?
on Hayden, the hot sauce.
Right.
You know what I mean? When it was a grocery store right next to Hot Sauce William, the Q5, and all of the old school stuff. I remember when it was a beautiful place and black people owned stuff. It was businesses and flourishing. So you got to bring that back.
And that's what we need.
All right.
You got to
so,
bring it
That's
back.
what we
All
need
right.
to
So
bring back.
if you are, if or when you're elected, Juanita, how are you going to bring the businesses back to East Cleveland with, due to the fact with all this corruption that's going on?
Yes, see, it's still being cleared out. City Hall is, and I have to give all praises to God using Eric Brewer, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't get this far. And if it wasn't for letters that we wrote on the behalf of the councils being concerned about East Cleveland, a lot of people saying that councils is not concerned about East Cleveland. All we do is fuss and fight. Well, we got something to fight about.
Okay.
We got something to fuss about. We got something to say, because at the end of the day, you is not going to be playing the residents.
Yeah, we need to fix them streets though.
And if somebody like listen, I'm surprised. Listen, I have a story. Everybody knows that my mom passed in March. And the thing about it is, thank you very much. And the thing about it is that when we rolled, we rolled to an event, and it was at the old building on Euclid, 173rd. It was the Mother's Day brunch, T-Rex, and my mother was like, "You want to go on?" My mother's like, "I'm going to go on Terrace Road." I'm like, "Ma, please, your Kia is going to get tore up." Soon as she rolled on Terrace Road, hit one pothole, felt her truck bounce, and decided I might just take Euclid all the way up. It's a good idea, man. It's a great idea. I remember a guy that was picking me up from the station. It was a year ago, not a year ago, but a year and a half ago. We were still at 173rd and Euclid. It was raining. He was flying down Euclid. One of them potholes caught his tire and flattened both of them. Yeah. So
I've been in one of them. It was like a dual pop. It was like
Yeah.
pop.
And it's so sad, because and then they want you to pay for a ticket after they done.
Tore your
Tore your car
axle and rim and everything up under your damn car.
So
Excuse my French.
it's all right. So here's the thing. I'm going to ask anybody that if they are on my live, if they are listening, I know you are. Because you might not want to show yourself, but you're going to have somebody listening for you. If you're listening on my live, if you're listening on my TikTok, if you're listening on WNRV's IG, or just the live streams that we have, YouTube. If you want to combat Juanita Gowdy's claims, Heather McCullough, I'm calling you out, about what's been going on, you have a free platform to come on here from 7 to 8. We can talk about the claims that people have made about your mispractices. And the thing about it is like, I'm giving you the same leeway I give everybody else. But the problem is that you don't want to confront these problems, because there are the problems in East Cleveland. They're visible. And if you don't believe it, like, you're visible, if East Cleveland had to pay for everybody's flat tires, that'd be beans and beans and beans and beans and beans and beans of dollars, period. And the problem that I have is that you have great businesses over there. You have the stores over there. You have other businesses over there, but you have to maintain them. Juanita, what do you want to say to the people before we leave here?
Well, I just want you to know that you got to keep hope, because keep hope alive, because it will be a better day. But we still, the Lord is, I put God in everything, because if you don't put God in it, ain't going to work anyway. But what I'm trying to say, to make a long story short, is keep hope alive, because things is getting better. Cleaning out City Hall is the best thing ever happened to us. Because if we didn't clean out City Hall, we would have more problems than a little. And far as Heather, she shouldn't even be in office, because we had a vacancy for her. You know, we removed her from office long time ago. Her and Willie Hemmons and
Drop them facts
Smith Lake.
and say this is public records. You can research it.
Yeah, so yes, these are facts that we already have removed them out of office, but they seem to linger on because Heather
Mysteriously.
is the one that's putting innocent people in jail, and covering up for corruption. So I don't have no respect for that lady. at all.
Okay. Anybody that puts you
I
in
forgive
slavery.
her, but the respect is gone.
Amen.
Right. Shout out to Mariah Crenshaw for putting it out there. As far as the protests in East Cleveland, and as far as the police corruption in East Cleveland, I'm really just actually in my mind trying to figure out why that this has gone for so long. Mayor Anwar went to jail. So the fate of Brandon King, if he's convicted, like each charge, if he's sentenced to all 10 counts that he's been convicted for, those carry at least 3 years apiece. So we're looking at the minimum maybe 10 to 15 years, the maximum 30 to 40. So, and those and yes, they're all felonies. And also Ernest Smith looking at maybe 5 to 7 or 7 to 10. They're working on appeals as we speak right now after the convictions. But the thing about it is like the sentencing part. And as I was trying to pull that up, they haven't been sentenced to the year yet. It's been postponed right now. They're still free until the sentencing part to where they need to be taken.
Well,
That
the
time.
judge. Well, the judge said that Brandon King probably only do 4 to 5 years. And, yeah, with all these charges, and Ernest Smith probably do a year and a half. It's some game going on, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see. But the
We'll
thing about,
see.
but
We'll see.
here's the thing about it is like, listen, y'all remember that they put the Russo away, the Cuyahoga County commissioner away for a good while. But because I guess it's King's, everybody's like, well, why 4 to 5? Well, this is technically King's first offense that he's been caught for, technically. So it's not like the thing about it is all the karma that you do will catch up to your ass.
What's in the dark comes to the light.
Yes.
Yes.
And when that light hit,
You
Light
gonna
becomes-
ooh, it's a
Light
scorch you.
yeah, sunlight, it'll burn you. All right, rest in peace to Sly Stone of the Sly and Family Stone. If nobody tells you they love you today, I do. Thank you, Juanita.
love
Thank you,
you.
Cache.
I
Shout out
love
to
you. I love you.
Go ahead. Shout out, Juanita.
Shout out to everybody.
to everybody. And Rick,
T-Rex.
Rick.
Wreck the show, T-Rex.
I really want to
Shout out
thank you,
to
Larry,
T-Rex,
for
big up.
inviting me.
Shout out to Larry,
Yeah, Larry, and to you,
Juanita, Queen.
Cash,
Hey.
Princess. So, and shout out to the people, the audience. That's
Amen.
listening, because East Cleveland is going to come back, and this time it's going to come back on the right track.
We had the mini mansions. Y'all see them size of them houses? You can't find that in the projects. Y'all better act like y'all know where y'all come from. Like, for real.
Exactly.
Them in some big houses, and y'all treating it like this is. I ain't even knocking the projects because we all come from humble means. I ain't better than the projects. If I had to be in the projects, I'm in the projects. But I'm just saying, y'all need to respect y'all mind and know where we came from and have some respect on y'all city. Y'all treat it like it's a trash can, and we need to change that. Nobody is putting into us because we don't put into us.
I found out something. It's not, I just found this out. I was riding down the street, and it's not our people doing this. It's other people actually is not our color doing this. And they writing on,
Some of ours is doing this.
I'm
I
not
look
saying,
at
wait a
them.
minute, I'm not
I
saying
look
that.
at
I say
it.
not all.
I didn't say 100%.
Okay, but I'm just saying, trash is coming, the dump is coming because other people in different neighborhoods is trashing our city. The kids is not doing it because I don't even hardly see no kids outside.
Listen, ain't no kids outside. They on the video game.
Yeah, so
These kids
we
don't
know
even come
these
outside.
are some
So how
adults
y'all
doing
talking
it.
about our kids is vandalizing
Yes,
stuff?
no.
That don't even
The
make
kids
no
is not
sense.
doing it.
They on what is that? Grand Theft Auto and Roblox and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's not the truth.
Right.
So
I know this when I see a big old truck coming through our city with trash. It's going to
you got to be aware. Start reporting these people.
Be aware.
All right. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City and Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals are 1-1. If nobody took to the 11 today, I do. This is Sly Stone and Family Affair. We out. Peace, love, and hair grease until next week.
WNRV 108.1.
It just loves to learn that another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mom loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good and bomb. Blood's thicker than the mud. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. What a bear. Newlywed a year ago, but you're still checking each other out. Hey, nobody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be left out. You can't leave cause your heart is there, but you can't stay cause you've been somewhere else. You can't cry cause you look broke down, but you're crying anyway cause you're all broke down. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair.